Hello, welcome to the Heart's Frontier. I'm Kate. If you are new, then welcome, and make sure that you like and subscribe if you like the video so that we can keep seeing each other virtually here. And if you are returning, then it's so good that you're here again. I'm so glad that you're still watching, and I love hearing from folks who are following along. If you are following along and you're kind of one of these people who are doing the like secret creeper thing, I appreciate you. I understand you. I am one of those people sometimes, so I totally get it. But also I'd love to hear from you. So feel free to like and comment, and it does help me. It helps the channel to keep things moving, and yeah, just to help people see this stuff and to, yeah, encourage everyone along their soul journey. So today I'm going to do a weekly reading. I did not check what next week leads to, so I'm going to grab my planner. Sorry, you just saw my ear. Okay, so today is Sunday, November 29th, and we're going to December 5th. So reaching into December, which is very exciting. And I'm just going to do a weekly reading. It's going to be a pick a card. So I've got 3 cards here that I just pulled. There's spiritual growth, Archangel Michael, and miracles. Okay, so feel free to pick whichever one is jumping out at you, whichever one feels like you're most drawn to. It's interesting, since I've started this channel, no one's come to me saying, I don't really know how to pick a card. So it's funny, we all intuitively or instinctively understand how to pick something that we're drawn to. But I wonder how many of us recognize how far reaching that is, right? How many different things we could follow our gut on, our instincts, our intuition on, and how it would lead us. Imagine it's 3 big decisions in your life. Some people, are connected to their intuition, and some people would say, I just feel better about this one, so I'm going to go forward. But a lot of us try to like rationalize and think it out. But the thing is, if we already have this direct way of seeing what's meant for us, maybe that would be more efficient. And so that's just something I wanted to bring to everyone's attention today as it's coming through. So we have pile 1, 2, 3. We're going to start with pile 1 right now, spiritual growth. And it is, look at your week ahead. I'm just going to say, look at the week ahead. That's what it feels like today. Just take a look at it. So let's see what's going on. Spiritual growth, pile 1, pile 1. Oh, that is too many cards. Sometimes it gives me like half the deck, and I'm not going to take that, Let's doing it again. Okay, spiritual growth, pile 1. What do we need to see this week? What do we need to know? There we go. Okay, awesome. So, spiritual growth is the way, like the indicator for how you showed up here. So I'm going to kind of use it as, part of the main message. But you're also getting the Metal King, which is discipline, armor, and boundaries. And I'm really getting drawn to like the fact that the face has like these dark eyes. So I'm getting the feeling like you've actually had a hard time seeing things clearly lately. It's just felt like foggy, and maybe you've kind of felt crowded. Like there's a lot of, I don't know, it just feels chaotic. Feels like you might need to shield yourself in order to do spiritual growth. So like it's important. Some people, when we're on this spiritual journey, we feel as though because we feel we're here to help people, we need to be doing that all the time. And that if we were to pull away from that, we would be pulling away from our purpose. But I'm getting for you, pile 1, that it's actually more at your purpose currently in this exact moment to be pulling within, creating stronger boundaries, and having some self-discipline in order to curate your next step and to actually allow for this next period of growth to happen in your life. We have watching clouds, which says lie back, rest, and relax. So if you've been overworking yourself, it may be because you're unsure that things are going to work out for you. But you're being told to lie back, enjoy, like relax and let life pass. Or at least just take your time out for now, right? Like take your time out and really mean it, and give yourself the full feeling of, spaciousness or retreat within. Lie back, Rest and relax. Okay. And then we also have grounding. So for you, it says go deep and explore your roots. So I do believe that's what you would be doing in that time that you spend like on your own and with yourself, is you might be exploring your roots. You might also just be acting upon something that's connected to a past life, because that's sort of the roots of this soul pattern. So if you went through many lives before and that soul has carried with you on into this life, then some lessons still need to be resolved, things that were not resolved in previous lifetimes, things that never got to full understanding. You're now just figuring those things out. So I'm going to pull your past life card here and just see maybe which past life element this is relating to. Okay. So we have spouse, and that jumped out really quickly. So I do feel like this boundaries thing is, maybe there's some energy around you which is feeling confusing. You might know who your, destined partner or spouse is in this lifetime. It may be that also you're feeling triggered because someone that you're interacting with right now, you used to be spouses in a previous lifetime. And so yeah, there's many ways that this can all work. And this is a very large thing to get into on a collective level, because it would be very hard for me to just say, well, this is exactly what's happening. All of pile one people have their spouse, in their future spouse or their current spouse in their lifetime now. That would be hard for me to just say outright. But for those of you who are resonating with this part of it and the past life healing connection, we also have phobias from past lives and the arts. So it may be that certain things you're afraid of, it's really not of this current lifetime, it's actually of a previous lifetime. So what you can do to affirm that you're on the right track is, and also it will bring grounding for you to do this. If you feel that you've been all over the place lately and you're trying to return to this current moment, this current timeline, you can say, I am currently in my highest and best timeline. I'm walking the path of my soul. The time is, whatever the time is. I won't share the time here, but you can say the time is, and it is, Sunday, November 29th, 2020. And again, I'm in my highest and best timeline. It is Sunday, November 29th, 2020 at this time. And I walk towards, the best possible future, the best possible outcomes. And that aligns you to this best timeline for you. And again, some of these concepts may be things that you haven't really worked with yet. And if you do want to work with me on understanding deeper, you're like, oh, I'm kind of resonating with what she's saying, but I don't really understand it. And I hear that a lot. I hear that a lot. The, oh, I totally get what you mean, but I don't really understand. It's like, yes, I'm with you, but how, yeah, you can book a session with me down below and we can work together on helping you release some of those karmic ties or patterns. Pile one, what else do you need to look at? What is going on? Just taking a look at your week ahead. So it may be that you create some boundaries that allow you to move towards a romantic partner. It may be also that you carry some discipline that helps you remove some sort of tie that feels like, wow, this is really old news. I'm really done dealing with this. Or, it's almost like those pains are of the past, but you're still letting go of the situation in the present. So let me know if that resonates. Yeah, so you're releasing a burden this week. That's what you're doing. You're releasing some of this burden that you've been carrying. I do feel like you've been giving a lot to others, probably more than you have to give, to be honest. Because you've been giving so much to others, they're not quite understanding how to give to themselves. And so again, we're getting this message of you do need to pull back your energy so these people who, who are needing you can learn how to rely on themselves. And I get that not every situation is going to be possible to do that, but I do question a lot of clients about, where did that rule come from that you have to be there for this thing, for this right now? And yeah, and sort of those senses of obligation that we have just based on our personal relationships. There's always something very interesting to learn about those. So we also have changes. So changes are coming your way, likely because you're going to put that discipline and boundary, setting down. Because when you act in a way that really respects yourself at a really high level, you know, when you can really respect your own energy and your own mission, what you're here to do, then so much good comes for you. And it would make sense that then that was, you know, how you get to your next stage of spiritual growth, right? And how you next sort of come to awakening is just by making those changes and by putting those boundaries in place. It creates the room for you. It's almost like there isn't room for you to actually feel like you've got more connection with yourself because there's so much other stuff filling that time. Yeah, so sacred space. This is where I'm going to end this reading off because pile one, this is pretty clear and pretty certain. It's all going to kind of talk around the same thing. So sacred space, create an altar or visit a power place to connect with the divine. So find this sacred space within yourself, carve it out, right? Figure out a way that you can get some sense of serenity and sacredness within your week this week. And yeah, I promise you that if you put in that boundary, the best things that are meant for your life will still be coming. If you do not put those boundaries in place, or you choose to act not in accordance with your own moral code or your own integrity, or you're just lacking discipline, you're like very scattered, then it will be hard for you to create the space to do that spiritual growth that you're so looking for. Like it really feels like your soul is calling for it. And like if someone asked you, you'd be like, oh my gosh, yes, that's exactly what I need. So honor that need and step back this week. That's, you know, I think what you're going to be doing, and hopefully you listen, as that would be, yeah, that would be like your highest mission. So thank you so much, pile one. Wishing you well, strength. Boundaries are hard to navigate, and putting your foot down or creating discipline with yourself, creating, you know, personal boundaries, it can be so challenging, and it can also be so rewarding and so freeing and so uplifting. So I hope you're on the uplifted and empowered side of that this week. I feel you will be, because you know that spiritual growth is on its way when you do that. But yeah, wishing you strength, because I know it still can be a challenge whether or not it's good at the end or not. So thank you so much, pile one. It's been a pleasure reading for you as always, and hope to see you soon. I will be posting later this week, I'm sure. So we'll see you then. Pile two, Archangel Michael. Archangel Michael. So it's funny. Archangel Michael is here really for like this divine ultimate protection. Getting a hair in my mouth. Okay, I'm just gonna. Strange. I'm gonna take that also as a sign that there's like some sort of distaste or discomfort in your mouth. So something about what you have to say is feeling like hard to do, because I'm feeling like my jaw and everything kind of tightening up, like it feels a little bit tense in there. And also it's funny because Archangel Michael is usually about like protection, and I'm feeling this is a lot about stepping up into your own power. So that may be, you know, self-protecting in some way, but I am feeling this is about like understanding your own power and divinity this week, which is a very exciting week. I mean, hello, that's a power message for sure. Okay, I'm getting home and integration and teaching and ascension. Okay, cool. So home, integration, which is really like taking these things that you've been learning along the course of your life journey and making sure that you're acting from that place, right? They're not like things of the past that you just recognize. They're actually who you are now. So here's an example. Say, you know, years ago, you went to this epic meditation or yoga class or something like that, and you had like a really large awakening, and you felt like your heart was open. You sort of came back to yourself in a way. If you have any sort of similar experience to this, where you've just felt really connected and really alive, and that's not your current feeling, just remind yourself that that's totally capable, like you're totally capable of feeling that way again, because it feels like your brain might be doubting that you know what you're doing. And if you've already experienced this, you know, high vibration of love and acceptance and just, you know, peacefulness, then you can arrive at that place again. And this is partly about integrating, so bringing those lessons that you've learned throughout life into your present moment. and making sure you're acting from that place. And I do believe it's so that you can be doing some sort of teaching. So you might be put in a position this week where you're given a lesson that reminds you of something in the past, and then you end up being able to teach someone else about that same concept. So you can sort of understand that sometimes you're meant to go through things another time for the benefit of others, right? For the benefit of yourself too, to remind yourself and to solidify in your mind that you have got this and you know what you're doing, or that you can trust, like that you're safe. And all of this is leading to ascension. So it feels like, you know, as the course of the week goes on, you may feel challenged by a number of things. And then hopefully by the end of the week, you've reminded yourself enough times that, you know what, every single time this is coming in to remind me, I know better than I used to. And I know better now how to handle that, how to deal with it. Yeah, it feels like some repeating patterns are going to be coming up for you this week, pile 2. Not sure what that's about. So let me know in the comments if you see anything for that. It also feels like you're going to be very present. Like I feel very in this current moment. Like you're just going to be focusing on like the next thing, like whatever apple is in front of you. That's funny. I'm seeing like a horse choosing apples, but like having a blinders, not a blindfold, but that's interesting. Maybe you felt like you had a blindfold on recently, and so this week you can actually take it off and see clearly again. I am getting the sense that you've sort of doubted and slipped back to like an older mindset of yours, which is like not really knowing how to do anything, but you're just not trusting this like very clear sense of internal guidance that you've already done a great job of honing in on. Yeah, okay, pile 2. Pile 2, you also have the Earth Keeper here. I really like that for you, actually. I'm excited to read it because I don't very often pull this card. Interesting. Okay. So you have outgrown your small dream of success and achievement and are ready to dream big with possibilities beyond your wildest expectations. So this old mindset of lack and almost feeling like you don't quite deserve it, or you can dream big, but you're never going to actually get that. That needs to be dispelled. Like that is getting removed this week, but it's also being challenged this week. So just a reminder to you, to your heart, that you can have everything that you want in this lifetime. If you feel it's meant for you, it's meant for you, and it's either here or on its way. It's coming. Yeah, I'm getting the sense that like a ton of fear is going to be released based on like your own power and like how you feel capable of operating. You're going to be reminding yourself of all the powerful, energy inside of you. Okay, it also says, just as you're involved in co-creating your world, you are also responsible for its well-being. The Earth Keepers are dedicated to the stewardship of the earth and all life. Okay, I'm getting a really, really clear message here that you're here to do some sort of really kind efforts in the world, and you're here to do a little bit more than what you've currently been able to do and act out in this lifetime. And so because you feel this deep longing and this deep heart, wish to just make the world a better place, and you don't feel like you're doing it now, and you've experienced times in the past where you felt like you weren't doing enough, it's like you're staying in that mindset instead of thinking about what you do want to be doing, right? So you're just spending a lot of time co-creating with the universe, saying, I'm just going to create more of this thing which is not working. Okay, so I'm just going to sit and focus on how it's not working, that I'm not doing enough in the world. And you know what? More needs to be done. So I'm going to sit and focus on how more needs to be done, and like that's not going to help anything happen, right? Like it's so obvious when I point it out this way, but that's really what it feels like your mind is doing. So allow yourself this week to remind yourself that A, you have all the power to do what you want to do, and B, you really are here for such a deeper purpose, and that deserves to be acted upon. Every single day in some little way, you can act upon that dream, even if it's saying, I'm going to put some research towards this idea, right? That's more than focusing on the lack, right? It might even be, I'm just going to dream about this coming into fruition and try to imagine it, right? That is more powerful than imagining all the ways that you've held yourself back, or remembering all the ways that you felt it didn't happen, enough yet. all of your life experiences and all of this time waiting, hanging back, not quite doing as much as you want to be doing in the world, all of that is helping you build that fire. So when it's ready, it's ready to go, you know, and you'll be able to actually share that openly. It'll be the right time, right? It'll be the right time. Okay. So the Earth Keepers are dedicated to the stewardship of the earth and all life. They choose to hold the sacred dream of a planet where all beings live in peace and where the rivers and the air are clean. Remember that everything you do has an impact for 7 generations. So, I mean, try thinking about that. Try thinking about your lasting legacy. That would be so cool for you to do this week, pile 2. Very, very cool. Okay, I'm also going to pull an earth magic card for you because we're getting all this earth symbolism, and yeah, I'd like to help you with this. So when we talk about wanting the earth to be a better place, it could also be that you are wanting to make an impact on people, right? People are part of the earth and humans are part of the earth. So don't take it so seriously if you don't feel super connected to earth or nature or environment healing at this time. It may be with societal healing. It may be with, you know, system healing in that sense. But I do believe earth is always our teacher. And so if you are feeling disconnected with your sense of wishing to care for the earth, I think that's a great sign that you need to get outside. I don't understand how any human could not see what's happening in nature and want to do something to help it. So if you have been feeling disconnected with that feeling, maybe even watching a nature documentary or educating yourself about the state of the world. It can be hard, but your heart wants to know the truth because it's from that place that you'll be able to know how you are here to help it. And I do believe, you know, if you're on this channel, then you are, you know, one of these people who is looking towards the light in their life. You're looking towards the light. And part of that light is making a positive impact. So pile 2, we have Green Man Synergy. Okay, so I mean, I could just take back what I said about if you're not feeling connected to nature, this might not be relating to you. Green Man is all about synergizing, you know, becoming one with and understanding your oneness with nature. You're already true nature and a part of that. And then we have Eagle, which is communion. I'm also seeing, I've never noticed, my power just went out. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I've never, that just really threw me off, pile 2. I'm like, what do I do? I've never noticed this before, but it feels like this is about communication. And then my whole power just went out. So maybe there's a lot of spirits trying to communicate with you. Eagle to me is always about something higher than us.